We'll now go on to look at Bhangra as a dance of the British Punjabi diaspora and its simultaneous reinvention in India and in the diaspora, in the Punjabi diasporas, in the British Punjabi diasporas. Bhangra was with the migration of Punjabis to Britain after independence and since the 60s. Bhangra has travelled to the UK and was largely performed in Punjabis' rites of birth, celebrations, in parties, weddings, and so on. And there were some amateur performers who performed at the wedding circuit. They usually as a hobby rather than professionally. It was these amateur performers who first began the Bhangra revival in UK by modernizing Bhangra through mixing it with popular Western beats. These pioneers of Bhangra include groups such as Apna Sangeet, Hira, Alap, Bhujangi, and so on. And this reinvention took place in the late 70s sometime. We have some images of Channi Singh of Alap and Apna Sangeet, the British Bhangra pioneers. And this is how Bhangra became the hybrid music of the British Asian youth, but that was later. When did it happen? In the mid-80s, British Asian youth who were not welcomed in clubs of the whites and who wanted a space of their own to party, needed a particular form of music. Now, these second generation youth, British Asian youth, not just British Punjabi youth, but all British Asian youth, needed a music to which they perform. Which they could perform, and they needed clubs in which they could perform so as to find their own spaces of leisure when they were excluded from clubs, white clubs, and they tended to hang around with black people, having grown up with black people in working class neighborhoods. Now, this phenomena was first observed by the British media, which commented on the emergence of Asian music, of Asian dance spaces, rave culture. They were called afternoon raves because these young people, particularly young women who were forbidden to attend parties, began to party in basements, often running away, often escaping from school in the afternoon, usually in the basements of abandoned buildings. And at these parties, some of the music which was reinvented in Britain, the reinvented forms of modernized forms of Bhangra were performed, leading to the production of what the British media call Asian dance music. And this Asian dance music, which was the reinvented form of Bhangra, played a very significant role in the production of British Asian youth identity and British Asian youth cultures, youth subcultures. So by the 90s, we not only was music professionalized, that we saw the emergence of some professional performers, but also gradually travel to the mainstream for a number of reasons, which I'll go into shortly. So the first person, while groups like Alap, Apna Sangeet, Bhujangi, and Hira continued largely in Punjabi circuits, the wedding circuits or family circuits, the first performer who attracted attention and who was believed to have pioneered the reinvention or hybridization of Bhangra in Britain was a young man called Apache Indian, Steve Kapoor, a second generation British Punjabi called Steve Kapoor, who called himself Apache Indian, and it was Apache Indian who hybridized Bhangra with Western and black beats to transform it into this dance form of rustic Punjab, of rural Punjab, into the dance, into music, and into the hybrid music of British youth. And this dance became very important in the performance of British Asian identity. I'd like you to listen to some of this music before we move on. And this is a significant production of one of the first performances, and this is a very rare recording which I found. This is a performance by Apache Indian with a reggae artist called Maxi Priest, and this is historic because it was a performance of this song which created a revolution of sorts when this collaborative performance by Maxi Priest, who is a reggae artist, and Apache Indian, who was a big fan of reggae and grew up listening to reggae and collaborated with Maxi Priest in the production of this album for real, which interestingly has Apache Indian singing in Jamaican Patois and Maxi Priest in Punjabi. Was a historic moment in this club in Birmingham, which had not just Punjabis but youth of all races, black, brown, white, all race dancing, screaming and dancing to the music of Apache Indian and Maxi Priest. Now, this led Apache Indian to invent a new genre of music which came to be known as ragamuffin, and I'd like you to listen to the first song, Apache Indian's Arranged Marriage, which became an
original sound that was all his
a big
own.
hit,
Bhangra Muffin,
and Apache Indian's album
Indian Bhangra music and dancehall
jumped to
reggae.
the top
Bhangra
of
Muffin,
the UK charts with this album.
Music,
now, it is Apache Indian's album which created a taste for this hybridized form of Bhangra music with Bhangra with black beats of reggae, hip hop and dancehall that led to the reinvention of Bhangra and the production of what is now known as hybrid mutant of Bhangra. Now, prior to that, alongside the revival of Bhangra in Britain, led by Bhangra pioneers such as Sapna Sangeet, Hira Alap and so on, there was a simultaneous Bhangra revival going on in India, and this revival began with somebody most of us would know in India, namely Goodass Man, a young man called Goodass Man. At that time he was young, performed a song called Dil Da Mamla in a play, who was noticed by the director of Doordarshan Jalandhar and was invited to perform at the New Year's Eve program on Doordarshan Jalandhar in 1979. The following year, Doordarshan Delhi, which would normally have a national star perform at the New Year Eve performance, talking about the days of the past when New Year's Eve in India largely consisted of people listening to television and bringing in the new year by watching celebrities such as Lata Mangeshkar or celebrities like Asha Bhosle sing live on Doordarshan, National Doordarshan, and this was a historic moment because this is the first time that a regional star, which is Goodass Man from Punjab, was invited to perform at the Doordarshan Delhi on New Year's Eve. And this man who called himself not just a dancer and was believed to have been credited with the invention of what is known as, so it has come to be known as Punjabi Pop or Bhangra Pop, a modern version of Bhangra which mixes traditional Bhangra beats with Western popular beats. As the first, it was the first for a regional star and produced the first Doordarshan star of the 80s. Now, Bhangra returned back to India, as the media put it, with Apache Indian in the wake of new communication technologies, with the liberalization of the economy and the privatization of the skies, ironically through the agent of the so-called alien cultural invasion, namely MTV. So, Apache Indians music could be first heard on MTV and simultaneously produced a number of stars. In the 90s, we see a return. So, if we get the timeline right, in the late 70s, approximately almost the same year, we have Bhangra being revived or reinvented simultaneously in Britain and India through its mixing with modern popular music by Goodass Man in India and by Chani Singh in Alap, who incidentally released the album in the same year. Chani Singh's song Teri Chuni De Sitare, which was a very big hit in the UK, and Goodass Man's Dil Da Mamla were released, the albums were released in the same year, and this is the late 70s. By the mid 80s, we have the emergence of Asian dance music in Britain, largely through its performance in afternoon rave parties and day jams by second generation British Asian youth. And by the 90s, Bhangra hybridizes with the western beats of hip hop, reggae and dancehall, led by Apache Indian, and enters the British mainstream and becomes part of British popular culture. It's then when, in its new avatar as British Asian music, that Bhangra returns to India via MTV on MTV following the globalization of India in 1991, and begins catalyzes with the reinvention of Bhangra within India by another talented singer, by two talented singers rather, namely Malkeet Singh and the Laila Mandya. So, the Laila Mandya, will begin with the Laila Mandya, whose album Bolo Tara Rara in the 90s, early 90s, sold 1 million copies in Kerala. Now, this selling of a Punjabi album in the South Indian state of Kerala, where people do not have any knowledge of Hindi, leave alone the regional language Punjabi, was a coup of sorts, and this is the first non-filmy music album to challenge the hegemony of Hindi film music in India. It was launched by the leading music company Saregama. It was not called Saregama, it had another name then, and this music gave a run to the Hindi film for its money by selling 1 million copies in Kerala alone, and it's this album which transformed Bhangra into national popular music. This was followed by Bhangra's Bollywood invasion, and with the featuring of a song by the Laila Mandya in a film called Mrityu Data, in which the superstar of Hindi cinema Amitabh Bachchan danced along with the Laila Mandya in the film. Although the film flopped, the song became a hit, and Bhangra became a routine in Bollywood films ever since, with the result that no Amitabh Bachchan film or any film today is complete with a mandatory Bhangra number. Now the question is, at the same time we have the emergence of Malkeet Singh in UK. I'll play some music from Malkeet Singh for you. The emergence of Malkeet Singh, who was a folk singer and performed, whose album became a big hit first in India, I'll take you to the original Malkit Singh song before we go into the new reinventions. Unfortunately, I've been able to get only the remix version by Bali Sagu, and this is again history. So, Malkit Singh, a folk singer, whose album Gurnal Tutak Tutak Tutiya and Gurnal Ishq Mitha, the song Gurnal Ishq Mitha, which I'm going to play for you, was a big hit in Punjab in the 80s, was remixed by a UK based Asian DJ called Bali Sagu, who calls himself the best known, who's known as the best known Asian DJ. Made faster, remixed, and turned into a music video. And simultaneously, when Apache Indians hybridized Bhangra, this remixed form of Bhangra became competed with hybridized versions of Bhangra in UK, found a following not only in UK but in all parts of the world in its music video version. Let's listen to the remix version of Malkit Singh's Gurnal Ishq Mitha. So subsequently, now Malkit Singh has since then moved on to has now shuttles between Birmingham and Ludhiana, and is called the frequent flying Bhangra star. And now we have another form of collaboration between UK based Bhangra artists and Malkit Singh, folk singers like Malkit Singh, such as in this song Independent Girl, between collaboration between Punjab a pure folk performer Malkit Singh as well with Apache Indian, expanding the range of the kinds of Bhangra which is emerging today, which has emerged today. Now we jump another decade and we look at other examples of Bhangra. We find Jazzy B and collaboration between Jazzy B and Apache Indian in a song called now Jazzy B is interestingly the most sought after youth icon in Punjab, was the youth icon in Punjab until recently, until he was taken over by new singers like Honey Singh. Now this collaboration between between Jazzy B, incidentally Jazzy B is born in Canada, speaks pure Punjabi and now lives in UK. So this is another form of collaboration. And then we jump by a decade and we talk about the complete the emergence of Bhangra as part of global popular culture with Punjabi MC's song Mundiyan To Bach Ke Rahi. Once again, like Gurnal Ishq Mitha, Mundiyan To Bach Ke Rahi was a song sung by a singer based in Punjab called Lab Janjua, who the music producer Rajinder Rai, aka Punjabi MC, discovered, recorded the music, and this music jumped to the top of the UK charts in 1992. Now, Jay-Z heard the song and rapped on it. Now, the rap of Jay-Z's rap on Mundiyan To Bach Ke Rahi, which is called Beware of the Boys, is resulted in the mainstreaming of Bhangra. So, by 2002, Bhangra had already moved to not only into the UK mainstream, but it had also traveled to US, and had began to be circulated as global culture rather than UK popular music, as Jay-Z music in its reinvention in US became part of American popular culture and gradually transformed into global culture. So, the question I would like to ask here is that, is it possible to talk about in this context, is it possible to talk about a simple dichotomy between the local and the global, between or of flows in terms of being unidirectional in view of the reverse flows of Bhangra to UK and elsewhere and to the Punjabi diasporas, but the flows seem to be further complicated by the fact that they are not just reverse, as the examples I showed you, I played to you, you would find that Bhangra is being simultaneously produced, consumed and distributed, disseminated all across the world by it travels from Canada to India, from Canada to UK, from UK to India, and from Punjab to UK. So, it is difficult to, one can say Bhangra aaye kahan se, Bhangra jaye kahan se, kahan re. Where does Bhangra originate? Where does Bhangra travel? Because it seems to have multiple sites of production within, not only in India, but also outside, not only in Punjab, in Ludhiana, Jalandhar, Birmingham, London, Toronto and many more. It has multiple producers, Punjabis, Desis, Bilatis, and it includes multiple genres, pure, some genres which are pure, some which are hybrid, some which are modern and others that are traditional, and it seems to have multiple consumers. So, I would like to classify Bhangra into three categories: Vilati, or the Bhangra which is produced in the diasporas, and we have these three leading figures of the diasporic Bhangra, namely Apache Indian, Balli Sagu and Sukhbir. And from the Vilati Bhangra we come to the Desi Bhangra, Bhangra which is produced in India, and this is represented by the Laila Mandya, Bollywood Bhangra, Sukhwinder, Sonu Nigam, Sudesh Bhosle and so on. And then finally we come to the Punjabi Bhangra, which includes the legendary Kuldeep Manak, Goodass Man, Malkeet Singh, Hansraj Hans, Jazzy B, and Abrarul Haq in Pakistan. Now, the concerns I have and which I share with the purists in Punjab is, which some of the videos unfortunately illustrated, and since I had to play the example, I had to use those videos because it is also an example of the reification of the Punjabi body. So, what has attracted the attention of the ire, one can say, of the Punjabi purists is the exposed female body, as one saw in the video, and the idea of club music, the club as a house of sin. But I think this obsession or fetishization of the female body, which can be seen in different ways as normal club gear in the Western world or exposed body in the Indian context, it takes attention away from the more important cause for concern, such as the male body, which seems to be equally exoticized and reified for global consumerist pleasure. For instance, when we look at that number between Apache Indian and Malkeet Singh collaboration, one could see that it's not just the body of the female, but it's also the body of the native native singer, which seems to have been exposed for the consumption of the global voyeur, because you have Malkeet Singh overdressed body, if we can say. Malkeet Singh stands in full regalia, and along with the female body, the bodies which are exoticized with this whole Orientalist narrative of the independent girl, the new modern day heat, as the song lyrics go, which is shot in West Indies rather than in India, and it's replete with these exoticized narratives of the Orient. One also sees how the body of the male singer, who seems to stand for Punjabi foreignness, and the foreignness of Punjabi itself becomes a source of exoticization and reification in this music video. We see that the British Asian producer, in the process of making the rustic or the Punjabi native producer, native musician visible, also becomes complicit in the commodification of the native producer of music. So this idea of the male body, which is equally exoticized and reified for global consumerist pleasure, is a real cause for concern. When we talk about the vulgar and the vulgarization or argument which is directed against hybrid Bhangra genres, which are based on the which are predicated on the fetishization of the female body and female body which is exposed for global voyeuristic pleasures, they seem to ignore the intermixing of the sacred and the profane within traditional performance, because even traditional Bhangra performance, if we understand vulgar in the sense of popular, one notices a carnivalesque play of the sacred within the profane in a traditional Bhangra performance, which is particularly in couple dances, and the idea of teasing under parental gaze, which happens even in traditional settings, say in wedding settings, which is ironically again picturized in a very in a British film. I would in Pride and Prejudice, where one has a traditional bolia and teasing between couples under the watchful gaze of parents. I would come to it in a minute. So, if one looks at the wedding song in monsoon wedding, this would be a folk performance and the kind of music which is performed in hidden spaces only with women, in the presence of women, and these kind of performances which are exposed to the male gaze are seen as vulgar, the kind of bolies. So this would be a traditional setting for performance of women's songs in Punjab, and when they are exposed to the male gaze of the global voyeur, they are a cause for concern. So this Bollywoodized version of the teasing, the sexual teasing or flirtation which takes place in Punjabi settings under the watchful eyes of parents exemplifies that Bhangra cannot be seen in the same manner as Sufiana Kalam or sacred forms of music, because there is a mixing of the profane within the sacred in a traditional Bhangra performance. And now, so what is the problem with the hybrid forms of Bhangra, particularly the music video? What the music video does is that it directs the gaze of the male, of the global voyeur, particularly the male global voyeur, to the bodies of the Bhangra of the woman, and not only the reified body or the fetishized body of the women, but also of the male singer, turning what was a participatory ritual into a spectacle. So, in a traditional performance, the gaze is not allowed to travel to forbidden zones, but in the present context is disembedded from its participatory context, leads to the fixation of the outsider's gaze on the body, and it exposes not only female bodies, but also Punjabi intimate zones to the outsider's gaze, leading to what we may call the desacralization of Bhangra.